Good evening. It's Paranormal Science Lab Live. I'm Lisa.
I'm not John. Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Well, we'll figure out who's sitting next to me later, but
It's hot in this house. Really.
But it talks a lot.
Not the house. Me. I talk a lot. That's what she's trying to say. Would you touch me? It's hot.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay, now that train of thought is completely gone.
Wow, that camera's all jacked up. Who set this crap up? Oh, wait.
The nameless one sitting next to me did. Okay. We are in a very warm house today. We apologize if our focus is off, but we are very happy to have as our guest Rhys Byrne, who is from Ireland.
Son of a biscuit, it's going to be one of those days.
And we're having a little technical difficulty thanks to John.
I'm just going to go home.
Rhys, how are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad. How are you?
Oh, pretty well, as long as the equipment holds out here. Rhys, you've gotten quite a bit of exposure recently, and you've earned the moniker the Irish Teenage Demon Fighter. Can you tell us a little bit about your background of how you got into the paranormal and specifically into dealing with demonic forces?
Well, it all started really when I was younger. You see, when I was younger, I knew I had different senses to other people. I knew I could pick up on things that other people weren't picking up on. And as I got older, as I was younger, spirits things used to come to me in whatever way they passed, and it used to kind of scare me a little bit. But I've learned now to get over it and know there's nothing to really be frightened of except for the living. But as I got older, it started getting harder and harder to understand why this was happening to me. And I couldn't go out to anybody and say, "Yeah, I'm after seeing a dead person." They just lock me up. You know what I mean? So I had to learn to deal with it on my own. And I did. And as I got older, I started understanding it more and taking control of it. And when I was about 15 years old, I was in a coma. And when I came out of the coma, my abilities were a lot more stronger than they were before I went in. I actually came out better than I went in. But they were a lot stronger than they used to be. And I started picking up on different things. And I've always been doing things with the paranormal. Like if I was younger, if I'd seen a dark, spooky place, everybody would walk past and I'd run into it. I just liked that whole feeling of being in a dangerous place. And after the coma, when I woke up, things started changing. A lot of things. When I woke up, something came with me. Something, I don't know what it was, but some kind of demon or something, it came with me. And I had problems for a couple of months after that. A lot of possessions and stuff started happening to me. So I knew a few people that dealt with the paranormal, a few people that used to do a lot of stuff with demons and witches. So I started learning first with the basic stuff. I started learning just all the normal stuff, and then I moved on to witches. And I took on, because people don't really believe in witches that are out there very much, but there's a lot of witches out there. There's nearly the same amount of witches out there than there would be demons. And so I started working with that, and that was very easy to me. That came to me just as anything. So I said, right, I think it's time to up the ante a little bit. So I upped to demons, and that's where I am now today. And I've never had a case where I've never succeeded, never lost, and I never planned to.
Wow.
So
what happened for you to be in a coma?
Well, I won't go into full details about that, but they weren't very nice people.
Well, no. What caused you to be in a coma?
Yeah, the whole full details of what happened, I'm not going to go into. But let's just say I wouldn't do something for somebody that they want me to do, and I ended up in a coma. So, yeah, but I did twice. I was in a coma first time and then the second time. But they're very bad people, drug dealers that wanted me to do stuff for them, and I refused to do it, and I ended up in a coma.
I see.
So,
now,
I'm still here.
You said you woke up and that something came out with you. How did you know that something was with you then?
Oh, because it's made itself very clear to me that it was there. The first night when I woke up out of that coma and I was in that room, in that hospital room on my own, it made itself very, very noticeable to me, and it let me know it was there. And it tried to scare me, but to be honest with you, I had already died twice when I was in the coma, so what could it possibly do to me? So from that moment on, it didn't scare me. But it still lurks around, and it always will.
But,
I know that.
Obviously, most people haven't had this kind of experience. What did it do, or say, etc., that made you aware that it was not a human spirit or something else?
Well, it pretty much wanted me dead. And it tried again because a couple of months after that, I ended up in another coma. And I knew it had something to do with that. I ended up in another coma, but I came out of that as well.
Can you give us any, I mean, when you say it wanted you dead, can you give us a description of what happened so that, people who encounter unusual things might have an idea of what they're dealing with?
Well, when it comes to the reason why I was able to deal with this entity a lot easier than other people would is because I was actually expecting something like this to happen, because I knew, from past people that I've spoken to that have been in situations like mine that actually have been in comas, and something that's come back with them. Nearly all the time, somebody that goes into a coma and has a cardiac arrest or anything like that, something will come back with them. It's almost guaranteed, and I knew something would come back, and it did. But it doesn't scare me now, actually, because I use it to my advantage, to be honest with you, because it's a demon that wants me. That's what he wants, is me. He wants my body. He wants to possess me. And another demon, the thing is, when a demon claims somebody's body, he claims their soul. He doesn't just claim the body. He claims everything about that person. So this day a demon has pretty much tried to claim everything about me, which is perfectly fine by me, because that keeps me actually pretty safe, because he's a very weak demon and I can handle him, no bother. But other demons won't even try to go near me or do anything to me, because once a demon has claimed somebody, a demon won't challenge another demon. Even though they're so fierce, they won't challenge each other about somebody who's already been claimed, because if you're marked, you're marked. There's nothing they can do. So it actually works to my advantage, because when he tries to do things to hurt me or hurt someone around me, I can stop him, but I also learn new things about the demons. I learn how they work and how to get into their head and really how to annoy them.
Well, I guess I'm a little confused. If he has a claim on you, doesn't that affect your ability to help others against a demon?
No. It actually gives me better power, because, as I said again, because he's trying to get into me and claim me, he wants to take over everything about me. I learn how he uses his power, so I learn the different ways, the nuts and the crannies, how these work, the little tricks they play, the games they play with your head. I learn all these different things, and they actually help me, so I can educate other people about them or what they'll actually do.
Okay.
And I've never lost against one.
Then what kind of tricks do they use?
Well, they manipulate your mind. What they do is they'll lead you into a false sense of security. So what they do is they'll let you, what they'll do is pretty much, they'll hang around you for, say, the first 3 days. They'll shadows, be knocking noises and stuff like that, all right? And then they'll leave you for about maybe a week, 2 weeks, even maybe sometimes over 20 years. They'll just leave you. So then your mind thinks, oh, whatever it is, it's passed on. Now you're in a false sense of security. Now your guard is down. And once your guard is down, that's when he'll come back without you knowing, and that's when they'll get you.
What are the best ways to protect against them coming back or taking control?
Stand up. Don't be afraid, because the more fear you have for them, the worse they're going to get, because they thrive off your fear. So if you have loads of fear for them, you're just making them stronger. The best way is, my approach when it comes to a demonic entity is not like you'll see with any Catholic priest or any kind of priest, like anything. My approach to a demonic would be very aggressive. I'll challenge it. If it wants to fight, I'll fight it, no problem. And what it does is it surprises, because the way I look at it is, these demonic entities have been around for thousands and thousands of years. And we fight it the same way every time. And this is why when it comes to the priests, they don't have any success rate, because they fight the same way. And they're fighting demons that have been fought in the past. They fight with the Bible, they fight with holy water. These demons are not stupid, they're very intelligent. So fighting it the same way for thousands of years, they've copped on to what works and what doesn't work, so they know how to get around it. The way I'll approach a demonic entity is, I'll approach it in every demonic, I approach it in a completely different manner. All the time, because then it confuses it. And what I do is, I'll go into a situation and the demonic will be in that person trying to make itself noticeable to me, trying to call me names, trying to talk and this, and I'll completely ignore it. Because when I ignore it, I'm completely pissing it off now, because now it's not getting the attention at once. And when I make it angry, now I'm in control of it, because I've changed his mood. Now I'm in complete control, and that's when I get rid of it.
Are there certain tests or ways that you are able to determine whether it's actually a demon or another kind of spirit?
Oh yeah, when I go to a situation, if I get a call about something, I have my team that works on the cases with me. If I get a call saying someone's possessed, I won't just run to the call. What I'll do is we'll talk to the person on messages, then we'll Skype with them, and then we'll find out if that person's on any medical stuff, any medicine, anything like that, because we need to determine if the person is possessed. Because the work I do, we get a lot of nutcases that are on as well. We have cults that are on that will be playing up just to trying to get you there so they can kill you. So it's a very dangerous thing, but you got to be careful, and you got to do a lot of background checking on who you're going to. And I never go anywhere alone. Never go anywhere alone.
Well, I think that is a good thing, but really, there's so much media and coverage about these kind of things. Do you find that some people kind of invite the idea of having a demon around and make up allegations?
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, most demons, to be honest with you, are actually man-made. Now, people might not believe that, but I'll explain to you how that works, okay? Demons there's anything about a demon, there's nothing happy about a demon, alright? They're nothing but negative energy. They're just balls of negative energy that can manifest itself into something that's horrific, horrible, terrifying, alright? And we actually create them, because if you look at all the bad things we do, look at all the bad things humans do, all the things we've done in the past, any stupid things we've done, these are all negative things, alright? And gradually, why everyone in the world's doing, and there's not one person out there in the world that has not done one negative thing, I don't care what they say, alright? If you look at all the negative things we've done, years and years of people doing negative things, this energy flows out there, and it gradually gets into this big ball of negative energy, and eventually it will manifest itself into something much, much worse. And that's where most of the demons I come up now are actually man-made.
Now, do you mean man-made in that really our own creation, or that
we create it? We create it through look at all the bad things we're doing. Like if you look at the stuff over in Afghanistan, if you look at the war that's going on in Afghanistan, that war is about greed and stuff like that. That's negativity, and that negativity from that is causing that. Like if I believe all the soldiers that go over there, all the men and women who fight, and the canines that fight over there, when they come back with PTSD, I believe PTSD is actually demonic possession. Now, the people that might not agree with me or disagree, I don't care really, but there's a lot of things we create demons. In a way, we welcome them to ourselves, because if we want to do bad things, they're going to answer that call. If you want to be bad, they'll answer your call, because that's all they are, is negative energy. They won't do it. When a demonic takes over your body, he will make you feel that you will never smile again, you will never laugh again, and that nothing ever happiness will ever come to you again. And that's the feeling that he'll give you. And if a demonic is allowed to take full control over you and nothing is done in the appropriate order, in the appropriate way, you will die.
So you're saying that it's just a negative energy, it's not an actual demon?
Oh, it is a demon. No, you see, demons, we can call them what we want, but everything, even the spirit, is an energy. It's all a ball of energy. And when we let out these energies, it manifests itself into something else that's much, much worse. And that's what demons are. There's man-made demons, and there's demons that have been here long before humans have been here. But most of the demons that I come up against now would be demons that are actually caused by human failure, human error, all the negative stuff we do.
So are you saying that basically we are creating...
Hello?
Are you basically saying that humans are creating demons that become an independent, viable entity?
Yeah, we create a lot of them. Through everything. It's not just, I don't mean negative energy as in somebody going out and murdering somebody. I'm talking as if somebody's not telling the truth, if somebody's lying, if somebody purposely just pushes somebody, or somebody has an intention to hurt someone. That's all negative energy, and that is enough not only to make a demonic entity to manifest itself, but a demonic entity to actually have spiritual rights to be able to take over your body, because a demonic can't just take over your body. It has to have a spiritual right, and you performing negative things gives him a spiritual right to be able to take over your body. That's why there's so many possessions out there, because people don't listen.
So basically, a lot of the demons that you're facing now, it's not a matter of possession out of being a voluntary situation with the victim.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear you. Broke up.
Basically, it's depression.
No, depression's a whole different thing. You see, that's where I'm trying to educate people, because a demonic, again, they're very, very intelligent. People don't think they're intelligent, but they are a lot smarter than we are. And depression, in a way, yes, it's depression from natural depression, whatever you want to call it. But then there's demonic depression that will make people believe that it's caused by, say, stress. Say you got bills to pay, you got this and that. Demonics will mimic anything they can do to make you feel like crap. And when they make you feel like crap, your guard's down. If you think about it, if you got bills to pay and you don't have the money to pay, you're going to get stressed, you're going to get pissed off, and you're just going to give up. And that's enough for them, and they'll take over your body. And this is just what they do. Like 1 in 5 people you walk past or even meet every single day is possessed by a demonic entity.
That's a pretty strong claim.
Oh, I can guarantee you. I'm telling you now, 1 in 5 people you meet every day will be possessed by a demonic entity. It's just the world we live in. We create it.
I mean, I agree that we create negative energy. I mean, that's a given. But I don't know that I would say that 1 in 5. I mean, people are becoming more enlightened as time comes along. So if you say that, negative energy is causing these demonic possessions, then if we become more enlightened, that's going to bring our energy level up. That's going to get rid of the possession on our own. Is that correct?
Well, are we becoming more enlightened, or are we just saying that we're becoming more enlightened? Anybody can say it, but proving it and actually becoming more enlightened and doing something that's positive in the world. Like, if you look at it this way, if you look at war, there's nothing good about war, no matter what country you're in. Even if your country's fighting with somebody else, there's nothing good about it. So therefore, if you're supporting war in a different country, that is a negative energy. Even if you believe your country's going to be invaded by this, so you need to fight back. Maybe that's the case, that you need to fight back to protect your country, but it doesn't give the right to have war. So in the end, we're always going to have negative things going on. There's nothing we can do, and that's why we'll never beat the demonics. It'll be a fight until this planet blows up. We'll never completely win and get rid of them, because there's always going to be, it's like taking a tire off a car. There's always that one nut that won't come loose, and that's just the way it is in the world.
Well, if this is becoming this prevalent, I think what I'm really curious then is what are the signs and the ways to tell that you really are dealing with a demonic possession? Can you give us details, examples?
Yeah, well, a demonic possession, it can have one. If you take a look this way, takes somebody that's a very outgoing person, that great energy, that likes to hop around the place all the time. If you can see a dramatic change very quickly in the way they go on and they're changing, maybe not socializing as much, maybe not eating as much, maybe not drinking, maybe not staying, doesn't like going out in the light, only likes, maybe sleeps during the day and gets up in the dark. Little things like this, or even a change in the way they dress. If they have because everybody has a way they're comfortable in dressing in, everybody does. If that person goes out of its comfort zone all of a sudden and changes differently, I would start looking towards the demonic possession. But I would not, I don't always, the thing is, when it comes to somebody that could be a demonic possession, I don't always assume. I always scratch everything else first. Is it a mental illness? Is it due to this? Is it due to that? And if I scratch all them off and I can see, because I have other people that analyse things with me, if I can see that none of that is due to stress or depression, and the only thing that leaves is demonic possession, well, I'll approach it from that angle. But there's other times where I've gotten to a situation and the person has welcomed the demonic. The person wants that demonic there with them. And if that's the case, there's nothing I can do.
So basically, if they embrace it, then it can't be moved.
No, there's nothing I could do, because, you know, I mean, how can you get rid of something that somebody wants there? You know, I mean, I could get rid of it for the time I'm there, but as soon as I walk out that door, that person's just going to want it back again, and the demon will come back.
Well, this kind of brings me to another aspect of your approach, is that when most people hear about demon fighters, etc., they think of exorcists in the tradition of the Catholic Church, and yep. You're not. You are Buddhist. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I don't think most people are very aware of how the Buddhist tradition views demon possession and how they approach it, because the philosophy is quite a bit different. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, to be honest with you, the way us Buddhists, the way we would approach a demonic situation is we won't go in with a Bible. We won't go in saying this is the way how this is got to be done, because you can't say this is the way it's got to be done until you're there face off with the demon. And the thing is about most monks, people think monks are very peaceful. Yes, they are very peaceful. But when it comes to demonic entity, there's a whole change in it, because when I come up against a demonic entity, my life is at risk. And anybody around me, their life is at risk. And it's up to me to make sure they stay safe. And with the Catholic Church, to be honest with you, when it comes to demonic possession, they are fools. Because they haven't got a clue, because they always assume... Like, I was reading a case there about a person, the house is possessed, and they've had 3 priests in, and the priests give up and say, just move out of the house. And see, they're leading people into false insecurity, and they're very dangerous, because if you have a demonic in your house, and you're calling a priest in, and he's cleansing it, and he's doing that, and it's not working, and if that priest says, right, to get rid of this demonic, you need to move out of your house, you're going to go with the priest. If you think that's going to get rid of it, you're going to do it. But in actual fact, that's going to make it a lot worse, because what you're doing is now you have moved to a different place, because that demonic has a direct connection with you. So where you go, it goes. So if you move to a new neighbourhood, he moves with you. Now, not only has that priest put you in danger, but he's now put everyone else in that neighbourhood in danger. And that's the thing about the priest. They lack intelligence. It's not common sense for the priest. They lack general sense. And that's what the Buddhists were completely different, because we'll approach the situation. I could go into a situation where there's a very aggressive demonic entity, and I will sit there and talk to him just the way I'm talking to you now, and my exorcism will already be performed without that person even knowing that's happened. My exorcism, when I do exorcisms, I don't do it like the catch choke. My hands will never be laid on the person unless that person attacks me physically and is trying to do bodily harm to me. Then, yeah, obviously I'll self-defense, I'll do what I have to do to defend myself. But my hands will never be laid on somebody. I'm never in a room alone with a child without the parent or guardian, whoever's there, present. And if any touch has anything, hands has to be laid onto the child, the parent or guardian will do it. And it'll never have to be below the neck. Also, as well, ours is, you see, the priest. I've seen people being tied down in their bed by priests, which is very wrong. I've seen people being killed because the priests have performing an exorcism on somebody by tying them down so much, or even squeezing them in the throat, trying to get rid of the demon, and actually killing people and getting away with it. Most priests, to be honest with you, are murderers, and I don't trust any of them. So the way we do it is differently. We'll just come into the room, we'll sit down, we'll talk to you casually, without you even knowing what's about to happen. And the exorcism, by the time we're finished our conversation, if you're possessed, the exorcism would already be done. You wouldn't even know it just happened. That's the difference between us.
So is there a specific ritual or a prayer, or how does this work if you can do it and the person's not even aware of it? I mean, it's so different than the Christian tradition. I'm curious.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the way we do it is, because I believe is, if you go into a situation, okay, say you're possessed, all right? And if I told you that I was going there to perform an exorcism on you, you're going to think of an exorcism of everything you've seen in the past of what exorcisms are. So without you knowing, your mind's already going to put a barrier up to stop me from doing that without you even knowing. That's not the demonic doing it. That would be your physical self doing that without even knowing. And that makes it nearly impossible to perform an exorcism. When I go in to do an exorcism, I won't even tell you. As I said, it'll just be done. And that's where when a priest tells you he's going to perform an exorcism, you're worried because you hear about things in the past. Oh, this person died, this person's ended up in coma. And that can put you in your own, your mind goes into survival mode now. Everybody has it. Your mind will go into automatic survival mode, and it will not let this happen because it will want to survive. And then it fights back. And that's when people end up dead because it's wrong on behalf of the priests. So when I go in, what I'll do is I'll probably sit there. I have my Buddhist chants. I'll probably sit there with my Buddhist chants and just let them play out. I'll just act as if I'm doing a cleansing on the house, maybe a bit of sage, a bit of smudge, little things like that. That won't do anything to a demon. The sage and smudge won't do anything to a demon. My chants will. And once I start playing my chants, I've already begun the ritual of removing the demonic entity from the house and from that person.
Well, and I guess that's my question is what do you do for the removal in your tradition?
Well, what I do is we have a Buddhist god. What we believe in, his name is Guru Rinpoche. Now, Guru Rinpoche he's a Buddhist god that basically was a Buddhist exorcist that rid of all demonics. He never lost. He always got rid of all the demonics, and his name is Guru Rinpoche. Now, his prayers and mantras is what I use, but I won't say them out loud. I'll say them in my head without the person knowing. And through using the power of Guru Rinpoche and his mantras, we were rid of the demonic entity.
Wow. I mean, and I agree. I think that sort of the media version of possessions has created certain stereotypes, ideas, people that, and it's not that. No, it's not like that. If you go to a Catholic priest, if you see the way you see in the movies, that's the way it's going to be, I believe. If you go to a Catholic priest or anything like that, that's the way it's going to happen. I believe if you go to a Catholic priest to perform an exorcism on you, you got about a 50% chance you'll die. And I stand firm with that. If you go to someone that's Buddhist, there's no chance, no harm will come to you. And we guarantee that no harm will come to you. Unless you put harm upon yourselves, but no harm from anybody else will come to you. And I just believe that people need to wake up. They need to wake up because, you see, people say ignorance is bliss. If you don't believe it, it can't happen to you. Well, that's not true. Jump out on the highway in front of a truck and believe it won't hit you. I guarantee it'll still hit you. You know what I mean? It happens to everyone. And some people have a demonic into them since they were born, and it won't come out in them till about maybe sometimes even 60 years old. It can wait that long. See, demonics, they can even stay in your bloodline. They just wait for what they see as the right, perfect host that they want. And they'll wait as long as they have to wait. They've nothing else to do. All they have is time. Well, and I think you being in Ireland with the long history there, it's interesting you say they can stay in a bloodline. Being here in America, of course, we're a much younger country, and I think that concept is a little harder for a lot of people to grasp. But are you familiar with cases where that you've dealt with where it was in the bloodline and went down generations?
Oh yeah, I've dealt with cases like that where in certain states of America, I'm not going to say which states, but certain states of America, where the bloodline had been in the family bloodline for over 100 years.
Okay. And is there anything that, if you're in a family that seems like, someone's had that kind of experience, or a lot of people probably would assume that there had been a curse or something if they didn't recognize it as demonic, for the family to protect themselves?
Well, what I recommend to do is first, I don't panic, don't worry, because if you didn't know what it was before, you wouldn't have worried about it. So when you know about it, don't worry then. Just go on as your normal day. Don't pay any attention, because if you give it any attention, it's going to know something's up, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and it's going to up the ante a little bit to make sure he gets what he wants or she gets what she wants. And so what I do is I would not call a Catholic priest or any kind of church at all. That'll only make it worse. But what I would call is, if you know any Buddhist centers or anything like that, or anyone that's Buddhist, doesn't matter from what culture Buddhism, except for the Chinese, then get them involved, because they will be able to help you very quickly, very, very quickly. Or even spiritual healers. they won't be able to go up against a demonic, but because if the demonic is in your household, and if he's only, say, moving things around or things are going missing, he has not entered your body yet. So it means he has not got the power to enter your body yet. So actually a spiritual healing on yourself can help the whole situation, can get rid of them. Because when they do a spiritual healing on yourself, that your spiritual energy goes through the roof, and you're protected then, you have your angels, whatever, protecting you. And a demonic entity is not going to even go up against that, because if he hasn't got the energy yet to go through you, to get into your body, he hasn't got the energy to fight anything. So they'll just run off somewhere else and they'll pick somebody else. But it still leaves a problem for me, though, because I still got to go fight them. But sexual, there's a lot of demons out there as well. You see it's a lot of cases I've come up against. Well, at least over 60 cases where people have been actually sexually assaulted by demonic entities. It's it's actually rising out there now. The rate of it is rising big time out there, of sexual demonics, and it's becoming very serious. And people take it as a piss take. People take it as a joke, and well, in no way is it a joke, and it's very serious, and it leaves people traumatized. You know what I mean? People, if somebody's sexually assaulted, whether it's in a human form or it's in an entity, it's still sexual assault, and it's still got to be treated as that. So there's a lot of things out there that people are blind to. It's not even that they're blind to; they know about it. They just don't want to listen about it. They don't want to hear it, because too many people are in their own little cliques nowadays. They're in their little group. They believe what they want to believe, and it's very wrong, because when it comes around to their time, when the demonic comes to them, because at one stage in their life, it will come for them. And if it doesn't get them in this life, it'll get them in the next. It's people like me that they call. You know what I mean? So people just need to wake up. They need to wake up, because there's a revolution coming. Big time. And we need it. We need a revolution in this world, because if you don't have a revolution, we'll never find a solution. And so a revolution is needed in this world. And I think then after the revolution, demonics, I think we were rid of all demonics if we have a revolution. But if we don't, it'll never happen. We'll always be fighting.
So let's go back to your eradication techniques real quick here. Being that you are a Buddhist.
Yep.
Are you saying that you can remove any demon with Buddhist technique? What if an entity doesn't believe in your Buddhist principles?
Oh, that doesn't matter what he believes in, what he doesn't believe in, because that's the thing. You see, that's the mistake that priests make. When you go into a situation, like you said there, what if the demonic doesn't believe in my principles? You got to go in with the mind frame that you don't give a shit what he believes, because what he thinks and what he believes is not important in any way. It's what you believe and what you know that can work is what will get rid of him. And if you get into the mind frame where you think, oh, this won't work because he doesn't believe it, you will possibly die, because you will let your guard down then, because now in a way you're actually feeling sympathy for him, thinking this won't work for him, this is not going to work because he doesn't believe it. That doesn't work with demons, because they'll kill you, because that shows a sign of weakness, because now you're thinking of what will this work with them, what way do their thoughts work. You don't even think about that. You just say, mind my language, you say fuck them, and you get on with it, and you do what you got to do to get rid of it. And the Buddhist teachings, as I said, I've well over 120 demonic entities I've come up against, and I have never lost one, and every single one of them I use my Buddhist teachings.
Hey guys, can I pop in and say something real quick?
I guess you want to anyway.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of a given. But here we go. Rhys, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the techniques that you use, they don't necessarily treat a demon as a demon. It's more of an energy battle. It's a conflict between energy, not a. It's not a good evil thing in a roundabout way. It's more of your energy against their energy. Is that correct? Because what you want to do is, if you look at it, you can look at it that way if you want as well. Because, as I said, a demonic entity is, in the end, it can manifest itself into something, a creature of a kind that's horrific to look at and whatever. But in the end, if we all come from an energy, we all come from a ball of energy, and so does the demonics. So, in a way, it would be a fight between energies, because the more people I have on my side that will support against ridden demonics, and the better the battle is going to go for us, because a demonic entity is a ball, and so it's positive energy versus negative energy. It is like a war, and there's less positive energy out there and there's more negative, so it's a pretty hard war to win. Right, and the only reason I interrupted was there's been some confusion. I think
It's not you walking in with boxing gloves. This isn't an MMA match we're talking about. This is your power of intention versus their power of intention, and yours is stronger, is what you're saying.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's kind of where I thought you were going with this, was an energy-based, but kind of where I was getting, but Eric interrupted. That's all right, Eric. It's our show. It's your show, I mean.
Sorry, John.
Don't forget, now, even if just because it is an energy in the world, everything is an energy. There's nothing out there that's human or lives that is not an energy, that doesn't come from an energy. But this energy, if it gets the chance, it will kill you in a split second. It has no remorse. It feels nothing for you, anything whatsoever. It will kill you no matter how old you are or anything you've gone through in life. It will kill you.
Do you think that the demons that have been here before humanity are more steadfast in their energy, or harder to overcome than the human created ones?
Yeah, you can call them the high priest, right? The demonesses. They will be, when you're coming up against them, it's a different scenario, because they've been around for so long now, so they've been able to see all the civilizations that have lived through the years that this planet existed. So they understand different ways things work. So you have to try find, if the teaching now, the way I'm doing it, has that been done thousands of years ago? And if it has, then it's not going to work with him. So it can be very difficult when you come up against an ancient demon that has been around for a long, long time to get rid of them. But I have come up against them before, and I said before, I've managed to get rid of them. And it's in no way is it easy. And sometimes it takes more than talking to the person as well. Sometimes it could take a few days to get rid of a demonic entity. But especially a high priest. But when it comes to a high priest, if you're performing an exorcism on a high priest, I would say there's about a 70% chance that you could die very quickly, because the power that they have and the energy they have is absolutely crazy. You will feel it as soon as you walk in the room. You'll be trembling cold. It's horrible. It's absolutely, there's nothing good about it whatsoever.
Well, I mean, now that happens with human spirits too.
Yeah, but that's true. But the thing, an entity was never a spirit, because a spirit was something that lived as, if one of us passed, we would come into our soul, we'd be a spirit. An entity never actually lived in the way we live. You see the way we live now in a physical form, they don't actually live like that. They're just still an energy that manifests themselves into different things that they know scare us, that can freak us out. So that's why they possess our bodies, so that they can have a physical form, so that they can roam around as we do. That's why they want it. That's why they have a demonic possession.
Well, I understand. I guess what I was getting at is some of the signs that you've talked about, like moving objects and footsteps and so forth, are things that you get with a human spirit haunting as well.
Yep.
But they haven't. But I think what you were saying is that you'll get those symptoms with the demon before they've actually taken control. If you're in that early stage and you're having those kind of symptoms going on, how would you tell whether it's a human haunting versus a demon?
Well, you gotta see, that's a very good question, and the way you look, you have to be very careful when it comes to demons, because they're very quick, very smart. What they'll do is, a demonic entity can come in. So if you know someone that's passed, a loved one that's passed, or whoever, someone you know that passed, that demon can come in as that person very easily. And then you'll feel, because if someone passes and they're around you, you'll learn their energy. Especially if you're a paranormal investigator, you get to know the energies of your guides and stuff like that that's there. A demonic entity can come in as your guide, or as someone that you know has passed, and you'll feel their energy, and you'll automatically, if you think it's the person that you know, will welcome that person in. And when you do, you're in serious trouble. But what I do is, if you hear something around the house, if you hear footsteps, if you hear noises, or something's going straight, something weird in the house, don't dismiss that it could be a demonic entity. And don't think it's fun and games. You see, because you get a lot of people out there that, especially young people, you get a lot of young people out there that there's an energy in the house. Oh, we'll do a Ouija board. Now, if you do a Ouija board and a demonic entity comes out of a Ouija board, you're in serious, serious trouble, because that can take more than an exorcism. To be honest with you, if you get possessed by a demonic entity and he has 100% control over you and he's come from a Ouija board, you're better off dead anyway. Because the life that you will live after, if you get rid of that demonic, he will take every single soul that you, anything you had in you that made you happy and that made you smile, will be taken away from you, and you will feel miserable for the rest of your life. So you got to be very, very careful in what you do. It's not, the paranormal world is not a fun and games, you know what I mean? Paranormal investigators who have been dealing with this for a long time, are what we can call them professionals at it. They know what they can say and what they can't say. They know how they can annoy something to make it do something. But there's a limit that they go to, and then they can cut it off there and protect themselves. There's people out there that think, oh, we've made it make a bang noise. Let's see if it can make it do something else. And it's when you're giving it all these attention, you're actually feeding it more energy, and it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's just so many dumb people out there. But I would say just be very careful. If you hear anything around the house, do not dismiss that it could be a demonic entity waiting for something.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but do you have any guidance to for someone walking into that situation of trying to really decide, is this more than a simple haunting?
Yeah, well, what I would do is, as I said before, I would get somebody that's practicing Buddhism, not Chinese Buddhism, any other Buddhism but Chinese Buddhism, and get them to, or I'd say, get them to say the Guru Rinpoche mantra. Only someone who's practicing Buddhism will know how to do it properly. Anybody can say it, but when you're practicing Buddhism, you know the pronunciation. See, when it comes to saying the prayer, the pronunciation of the word is very, very important, because when it comes, like, it's in the Tibetan language, so the pronunciation of the word in the Tibetan, there's a lot of words that are the exact same. It's just the way they're pronounced, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, it's very important that you get the pronunciation right, otherwise it won't work. So that's why I say get somebody who's practicing Buddhism, not for a couple of weeks, not someone that's just doing it for a couple of weeks now. I'm talking about somebody maybe doing it for maybe a year, 2 years, or even if you know a monk, even better. Get a monk to come to the house, recite the Guru Rinpoche prayers and mantras, and the White Tara mantras as well, and that will quickly tell you if there's a demonic entity. Because if there's a demonic entity, if it was a demonic entity, it will all stop very quickly. If it's not a demonic entity, it will just continue. Then you know it's a spirit. Because the Guru Rinpoche mantra will only get rid of demonic entities. It won't get rid of, say, if it's a nice spirit, it won't get rid of them. But a demonic entity, it will. So if nothing happens after that, you know it was a demonic entity.
Okay. I wanted to kind of step back for a second. Something that you said earlier on was that you dealt with a lot of cases with witches, and I think that people perceive cases of witches in America much different than they do in Ireland. And so I think when you say that, I think viewers here aren't really aware of what you're talking about. Can you give us a little information about what you mean about a witch case there?
Well, a witch case, how do I explain this now easy? Well, a witch, it's not like you see people in the movies. It's not this witch that flies around on a broom. All right, so let's just get that one now. It's more of someone that practices, you can call them spells and stuff like that. Someone that practices kind of spells. Now, I know some white witches who practice white witches over all the spells and all that stuff. And then you have your black witches. Now, your black witches would practice a lot of evil stuff, and they'll be the ones to watch out for. You'll know people that can put curses on you. Like a lot of people perceive, they think of, if you think of voodoo magic, automatically in your head, people think of the voodoo dolls. They think of putting pins in them and they're doing black magic. Voodoo magic is actually, there's a lot of good to voodoo magic. It's just humans find a way to manipulate good things to turn them into evil, no matter what it is. So witches can be anybody. There could be somebody in this chat room right now sitting there, could be a witch planning on putting some kind of spell or curse or anything on us right now, and you wouldn't even know it.
And how do you approach that, since you're dealing with a living person? How do you approach that?
From a distance, because now you're dealing with a human person that can literally stab you in the chest with a knife. And I've come up against witches that have tried to kill me before. Literally tried to kill me. Now, you've got to be very careful because a witch, you see, if you know you're dealing with a witch, be very cautious of your movements and how close you stand to that witch, because if say that witch, she pulls out her hand to shake your hand, all right? And what you don't know is she has her. If you look at witches usually have very long nails, all right? Not all of them. Some of them you wouldn't even know. Some of them look like supermodels, but others, the majority of them don't. And some of them, if they're long nails, and say you have a little cut in your hand, there's a little bit of blood. Even if they scrape a little bit of skin off your hand onto their hand, which they will do, now they have enough to be able to put a curse on you, put a spell on you, actually be able to manipulate your mind to do what they want you to do. So they could make you go out and commit a murder for them, and you wouldn't even know it, and then you'll end up rotting in jail for the rest of your life.
And is this through energy of their own energy, or are they invoking other things, in your opinion?
They'd work close with demonic entities.
Okay. And with this, and are we talking ancient demonic entities, or are we talking more of the human created ones?
Ancient demonic entities.
Okay. What? So, do you end up still coming back around to the issue of fighting that demon? In order.
No, not really, to be honest with you, because I don't pay him any attention. I know what his plan is and what he wants, but what he wants and what he gets are two completely different things. You see, the thing is, all the shit I've been through, now I know lots of people have been through things, and I've been through my own stuff, but I've learned not to fear the dead, just fear the living. So, and I'm not afraid to die. I've died already. I've died 3 times. So, if I'm not afraid to die, what can he possibly do to me? He can't do anything to me, because what he wants is to kill me. So, if I'm not afraid to die, there's nothing he can do, and it doesn't intimidate me. But him being around, like, he's always around. Even right now, I know he's around me. I learn off him. I learn his energy. I learn the different levels. I know when they can cloak themselves, when they can't cloak themselves. That's why I'm in my room. I'm always in my room under candlelight. You won't see my room with a big light on or anything like that, because that can give him energy. He can draw energy from that. So I always have the candles lit, and it works better. But again, because I've practiced in Buddhism, and I trained as a monk in India, I've learned, I know what to do and what not to do. And the best thing, to be honest with you, to do is, if he's around you, is just tell him where to go. And I don't mean in a polite way. I mean, just tell him where to go. And that shows that you're not afraid anymore. That means that you're not intimidated by him, and you will stand your ground. And when they see that somebody's not afraid of them, they're not even going to put in the effort of trying to change their mind frame now, because they know there's somebody else out there that they could easily manipulate, and they'll just go for them. So never back down. Stand your ground. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can stand your ground in the way, but never challenge him unless you know what you're doing. Because if you challenge him, even if he knows that you're not afraid of him, he will answer your challenge and he will not back down. So you've got to be very careful of that. You can stand up to them, but don't challenge them.
More stand up, tell him to leave, but not engage.
Yeah, not like bring it on, let's go. None of that, because he will bring it on and he'll kill you.
I'd say that's probably a wise philosophy to have. Yeah. How many cases are being brought to you, Rhys?
Well, sorry. Well, I'm inundated on cases. Now I've working on cases. I think today I've worked on about 8 different cases that I'm looking at, but I have dozens and dozens of more waiting. I go through my team and I go through all the cases, and we prioritise which is the most serious situation. And we'll work with them first, because obviously if they're the most serious one, they've got to be dealt with first. And that's what I'm working on now, is the most serious situations, the cases. And there's a lot of things like if you look at it, what I do is there's people out there that perform exorcisms, they're exorcists, but they do it in the wrong way. Like all the stuff that I've been doing, all the reports of the papers, all the media, all this stuff, the Catholic Church now is actually training over 300 priests to send to Ireland to perform exorcists. And that's only since I've started to do things and challenging the church, saying, what are they doing? You know what I mean? They're meant to be the leaders of the spiritual world that are meant to be protecting the people from all this stuff, and they're actually sitting on their arses doing nothing as usual. So it's just, it can be hard. The work I can do can be hard, and anybody out there that think it might be easy, it's in no way easy, because it's mentally draining to me as well. You know what I mean? And when I see people that are in a lot of pain, you know what I mean, I do have a heart somewhere, but I do have a heart, and I do feel pain for them. You know what I mean? And it's hard to watch the world. You know what I mean? Because the world's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with the world. It's the people that live in it. They just think nothing can happen to them, and they're so wrong. You have to be aware that anything can happen to anyone at any moment. Like at this moment right now, even though what I do, I could be possessed by a demonic entity, or I could be killed, or you sitting there, it could happen to you. It's very easy, and even when you see where we're on the internet now, this is a perfect link for demonic entities to travel very quickly, because they use the energy of this, so they can travel back and forth to different places. So there's a lot of things out there that we have created that makes demonic possession so much easier for them, as the internet is for one of them, mobile phones, anything like that. Demonic entities thrive off all this stuff, and we don't see that.
I guess I'm confused. Why would a demonic entity benefit from electronic?
Is it just the energy?
Just the energy?
It's the energy.
They're not actually traveling, right? They're just using the...
Oh, no, they can travel. No, they can travel. Demonic entities, they can travel anywhere they want to go. And demonic entities can be... They can,
Why would they?
A new host. They're always looking for a host. They're always... Even if they're working on somebody, say they have possessed somebody, they can be in another place at the exact same time working on the next host. This is what they do. It's... Like, I've had people that I work with that were in a different location, in a different part of the world, with a demonic entity, and I was in a different part of the world, and I was working at the exact same demonic entity that they were, at the exact same time, and they can travel, and this is what they do. They can be in more than one place at once.
Well, I can see that.
Right, but I guess I was just wondering, I wasn't sure why, say, the internet would help them.
It's the energy. Not that they always travel, not that they will always want to travel, but they can use, you see the energy that it brings out. Like, if you have your charger plugged into your computer, you know what I mean, you're consistently bringing energy out, and they can take energy from that, and they can get stronger and stronger and stronger to do whatever they want to do next.
And I can see that. I mean, in paranormal investigations, human spirits pretty much do the same.
Yeah, they do the same thing.
Exactly. What?
No,
well, there was a question. Have you ever been to Hellfire Castle in Ireland?
Hellfire Castle.
Oh.
No, but a very close person to me now, a person I know very well, has been there, and they've told me a bit about it. But you see, I've been to a lot of places in Ireland. I've been to a lot of places all over the world, but my priority is not to really go and do investigations. My job is to go and rid of demonic entities. So when I go somewhere, I'm not going to pick up EVPs and stuff like that. I'm going somewhere. If I'm on the move, on the road, I'm going to perform an exorcism, because that's what I do. But no, I've been around, and I know the person I know very well has been there multiple times and has told me what it's like. It's a pretty crazy place, to be honest.
Is there any particular pattern that you're seeing geographically or anything like that seems odd or changing as far as possession cases?
Like the rate that they're climbing in, or as the way they're becoming possessed?
Either.
Well, the rate is, it's kind of gone through the roof now lately. It's really kicking off now, but because if you look at the world, right? Let's look at it this way: we're all against each other. Because if you look at it, you're in America, all right? Now, if my country wanted to invade your country, you would hate my country. You know what I mean? So we're all against each other, and if you wanted to invade ours, we'd hate yours. We're all against each other. Like, if you look at this, I take it you know about what's going on in Israel at the moment.
Right.
That's just pure negative. That's a demonic haven right there now. What they're doing is because they're mutilating people, and that's what it's a genocide. They're absolutely mutilating people over there, and this is the world we're living in. We're killing each other, and we're making them stronger. They don't even have to kill us anymore. We do it ourselves.
Well, and and of course that's been going on for thousands of years too.
Yeah.
We are kind of getting close on time, Rhys. If anyone is wanting to contact you about whether consultation on a case or anything else, how would they reach you?
Well, you can get me via Facebook, and any information that's sent there is all confidential. There's no information that will ever be divulged to anybody, and it will be sent to me directly, and I will have a look at it, and we'll take it from there. Also, as well, I want to let people know as well to keep a lookout for Ultimate Haunted Ireland. You'll find it on Facebook at Ultimate Haunted Ireland, and my page is called Irish Teenage Demon Fire. And anybody that has any problems, or even just wants to learn something new about a demonic or something about the paranormal world, feel free to message my page, and we'll get back to you in 24 hours.
Well, thank you, Rhys. We really appreciate you coming on. It was a very fascinating discussion, and we wish you the best of luck, and maybe we'll have you back on when you have some more news that I understand may be coming. So
yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we've a lot of news coming, especially with Ultimate Haunted Ireland, so we'll have to do a show on that now whenever, and we'll keep you updated on that. There's like a few interesting things.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And everyone stay tuned for Selena Rowan on Closer to Death. She has Dakota Lawrence, and I understand there's going to be some call-ins. Check it out.
Good evening, everyone. Have a good night.